Hi guys, here's a quick homework help video for subtracting integers. We're going to look at some of the same examples from class. This is stating we have -4 and we want to take away -2 from it. So I'm going to skip this first step here and I'm just going to go over here and model my -4. My negatives are shaded in. So I have -4. That's my first number. Here it is represented, and I want to take away -2. Well, since I have 4 negatives, I can just take away 2 of them. So I can show that I'm taking 2 away, and what's left over is still a -2 that I didn't take away. So -4 minus -2, the answer to that is -2. You can do that with a model where you have the amount that you want to take away, and that's what we've done here. That's what is going on in this one too. You have -6, so let's show -6. And I want to take away -3. Well, I can do that because I have actually more than -3, but I only need to take away -3. So I can choose any 3 I want to take away, and what I'm left with is my answer. So I still have 3 negatives left. So -6 minus -3 is -3. Now the problem comes when you want to take away something that's not there. So for example, I've got +5, and if you model +5, that would look like this. They're not shaded in, so they're positive. And I want to take away -2. Well, if I take this one away, that's not taking away a negative. That's a positive. So I can't just cross one of these out because they're not negative. I need to take away, that's what subtraction is, I need to take away 2 negatives. I don't have 2 negatives here. So what we've been learning at school is that you can bring in 0 pairs. So I'll bring in 1 positive and 1 negative. That doesn't change this value. This is still +5 because a +1 and a -1 are 0. So this is like 5 and 0, and 5 and 0 is still 5. But what this does is it brings in a negative that I can take away. I need to take away 2 negatives, so I need to bring in 2 0 pairs. I can't just bring in the 2 negatives by itself. If I did that, it would look like this. It would be my 5 positives, and then I just bring in my 2 negatives. Well, that doesn't work because this negative and this positive would cancel each other out because they're a 0 pair, and this negative and this positive would cancel each other out, and I'd have an answer of +3. And that's not what's happening. This model up here is showing 5 plus -2. That's different than 5 minus -2. So we have to bring in 0 pairs. You can't just bring in the negatives you want to take away. You have to bring in 0 pairs. When you do that, I can now look at this and go, I still have 5. That's what I have here. These 0 pairs sitting right here don't change the fact that I still have 5. Still got my 5. What am I taking away? Just 2 negatives. So I'm only going to take away the 2 negatives. When I do that, I look at everything that I have left, and since these are all positive, it's +5, and I've also got these 2 left, and 5 and 2 is 7, so it's a final answer of +7. I'm going to skip down here and use this one because it also works even if you start with a negative number. So I've got -4 here. So I'm going to model -4. I want to take away a -1. Well, I don't need any 0 pairs to do that because I already have 4 negatives. I can just take one of them away. And there's my leftovers, -3. Okay? Let's talk about what happens. I'm going to change this. I don't want to do 7 minus -3. So I'm going to change this and show you a different example. Let's talk about what might happen if I had a -7 and I wanted to take away +2. That's not -7, -2. It's -7 minus 2, +2. Well, first of all, my first number is -7, so I need to put 7 negatives up here. So let me model 7 negatives. Here they are. I want to take away +2. I can't because every single one of these are negatives. But if I want to take away +2, I can bring in 0 pairs. If I bring in just one 0 pair and take away a positive, that's only taking away one positive. I need to take away two positives. So I've got to bring in two 0 pairs. That now gives me two positives I can take away. I haven't changed this. This is still worth 7. Because when you take 7 and you add 0 to it, it's still 7. When you add another 0 to it, it's still 7. So I haven't changed my first number. It's still negative 7. Sorry, it's not positive 7. It's negative 7. But bringing in these two 0 pairs lets me take away two positives. I'm taking away two positives. There's one of them. There's the other one. Now I look at everything that I have left, and what I have is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, but they're all negative, so that's negative 9. Bring in 0 pairs when you don't have what you need. When you do have it, like in this example, you just take it away from where you are, okay? The other strategy that we talked about in class, it's called a lot of things. A lot of teachers call it different things, but I call it keep, change, change. And you can use this strategy anytime you're subtracting, anytime you want. The way it works is very simple. It even works with regular subtraction. The way it works is you keep the first number the same, you change subtraction to addition, and you change the second number to the opposite of what it is. So I'm going to keep positive 6 as positive 6. I'm going to change subtraction to addition, and I'm going to change positive 5 to negative 5. Well, 6 minus 5 is 1, and that means 6 plus negative 5 is also 1. And we know that's true because if you have 6 positives and you have 5 negatives, well, you're going to cancel the 0 pairs out, and you're left with one positive, which is where that one positive is coming from. We don't use keep, change, change for regular subtraction because we already know how to do regular subtraction. We know what 6 minus 5 is. But when we start looking at integers that look a little different, like negative 6 minus 5, well, now keep, change, change might be helpful because we might not know how to subtract integers, but if we use keep, change, change, keep the negative 6, change to addition, change positive 5 to negative 5, we can probably use the addition rules a little easier now that we've changed it to addition. So we think about this, okay, negative 6 and then add negative 5 to it, okay? So here's negative 6. And then we add negative 5 to that. That's a total of negative 11. That means that negative 6 minus 5, sorry, 11, not 1. 11, 6 minus 5 is also, sorry, I need to slow down here. Negative 11, because these are all shaded in, so there's 11 of them, negative 11. That means negative 6 minus 5 is also negative 11. And it should make sense on a number line, because if I try to do, this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, negative 6. If I subtract, if I start at 0 and I go to negative 6, if I'm going to take away 5 more from that point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's going to be negative 7, negative 8, negative 9, negative 10, negative 11. So that means when I go to take away 5 more, I'm still moving that direction on the number line. Taking away a positive is the same thing as adding a negative. If I put down, here's negative 6 that I've added, well, adding 5 more negatives goes to the left on the number line. The only way to go right on the number line is to add positives. You can go left on the number line by subtracting positives, like you see here, and you can also go left on the number line by adding negatives, like you see here. So keep, change, change works whenever you're subtracting integers. It works if you start with positives. It works if you start with negatives. It doesn't make any difference. It works even when they're both negative. So for example, if I had negative 3 minus negative 4, keep, change, change would work with this too. Keep this one, change to addition, change to positive 4. So keep the negative 3, change to addition, change to positive 4. Well, now I can make a model that's addition. Here's 3 negatives, Here's 4 positives. 0 pair, 0 pair, 0 pair. I'm left with positive 1. That means negative 3 plus 4 is positive 1. And that means that negative 3 minus negative 4 is also positive 1. Minus a negative always turns into plus a positive. You see these two symbols together, it's going to really be plus a positive is what that's going to turn into. We have talked about this so much, guys. We talked about this for 40 minutes yesterday in class. We talked about it for another 40 minutes today in class. We've drawn models. We've done them on the number line. I would suggest that if you're still stuck on this, that you would go out on YouTube and type in subtracting integers and see what else you can find. There are lots of videos out there, lots of good ones, and maybe you need someone else besides me to explain it if you're still having trouble understanding. So search subtracting integers on YouTube if my video today didn't provide you with the help that you needed. Good luck on your homework.